Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Northern Fishing Talk. Today is a day for me doing videos. Just finished the video on the boat. I'm going to do one of my tips and tricks and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about a couple of my rods. As you can see here, I got like a cork board that has a bunch of tackle and stuff like that on it. What happens is, a lot of the stuff that I get, if I'm not going to use right away, I take and I put down here. I do have a lot in my boat. I didn't show you guys. I have about 10 or 12 of the 3600 plano cases full of stuff in there. So what this ends up being is like when I go out and I buy extra tackle or from the Lucky Tackle Box stuff, I take it and I put it down here. And then what I do is every time I'm getting ready to go out on the water, I figure out if what I have in the boat's good, or if I want to try something new. So I got stuff here that I'm going to be getting ready for soon to take out. Now, rods and reels, tips and tricks, that kind of stuff. What I've got here actually is it's a nice little setup. It's a Bass Pro Shop, and that it is the Bionic, and it is a 7'6". It's a heavy power with the action's medium fast, and I'm a big fan of medium fast. But let's see here, I'll take this off. And that. So, anyways, what it is, it's just a simple setup. It's the Bionic blade. There we go. So I've got a scatter wrap. I just put a small one on it because I wasn't sure about how I was going to like them or not. So I set this up to basically be like my other bait casting rods, and that I talk about in my other video there that I did today. The gear retrieval is 6.3 to 1, which I think means it's like 25 inches for every rotation or something like that. It says here that it's a Deadly 5 shad rig. I'm not a big believer in that. I just like trying them out and seeing what works best for them. So what I've got on it though is the Bass Pro Shop Tourney Special reel. Big fan of this reel. I like this one a lot. But what I find with this is you get a lot of good, really good backbone, and when you go to do the hookup, you get enough strength and everything in it. Now the scatter wrap, or this new, I think it's the scatter wrap. I can't even remember. I've bought it. I've thrown it on. I've used it a handful of times. Not necessarily a big fan. I'm not necessarily a hater on it. Got to try it some more. But I got it on Power Pro, Moss Green, 50-pound test on here. I'm a big believer on braid for a lot of areas that I go to, and that, so I keep that on there. Now the one tip and trick that I have with this is that when I'm using it is I like to, just the way I like to hold it, just to get a better cast. Like to keep it underneath. But the one thing I do every year, and what I do is I got it right here. I believe I have it in here. No, I don't. Oh, it must be out in the boat. So what it is a can of Real Magic, and I spray it on the line the beginning of every season, and then I do my checks to make sure. Now with this, the one thing I see a lot of, as I put it, novice anglers do is they'll hook them on the eyelets here, the ceramic eyelets and stuff like that. I mean, if you're going to hook it up around there, do it on here. Even then, I don't agree with that, but I mean, you got to do something. That's why a lot of these companies now are actually putting keepers down here, and that where you can keep everything nice and quiet and neat, and that to keep everything up and going. So with this is what I like to use. Some of my this is actually my biggest bait casting rod and reel setup. Normally I do a 6'6" to a 7-footer. I don't normally go above 7, but that's the way it is. Now, here is the one rod I had been searching for a long time. This is the one rod I've wanted forever, and could never get it due to the fact of okay, so there's some editing I have to do. I had to stop the camera for a second. Anyways, here is a rod I've been looking for a really long time. Any place I went, I found that they were selling them for way too much, and especially being a soldier that didn't make a lot of money, and that I could never really afford to get one. I happened to find them on sale for $80. It was a St. Croix Mojo bass rod. Now, it's a 7 medium heavy power, fast action, and with that, I actually like to throw my lipless crankbaits on these. A lot of people won't. They'll throw them on your bait casters. I don't know. I just, for some reason, my lipless, I love to throw on a spinning setup. Now with this is just fluorocarbon. It's like a 6-pound test fluoro that I had that I was just like, I'm not going to throw out. I'm going to toss on here for this year and that. But the one thing I love about it is the action. Like, you've got such a great motion up there, and I've had it out on the water a few times. Unfortunately, haven't been able to hook up on anything yet with it. I've paired it up with an Abu Garcia Cardinal SX30. Big fan of Abu Garcia reels. With my bait casting rod, the reason why it's got a Bass Pro reel on it because it was a combo, so I bought it that way. But normally everything I get is Abu Garcia with the occasional Fluger. I do have 1 or 2 Rapala reels, but those were bought as gifts for me. So, and they're good reels. It's just I more love my Abu Garcia. So, like I said, this is paired up with 6-pound fluoro, and I love it. Now, the one tip and trick that I have with this, because it's on a spinning rod, to get that fast crank action back, you're really not going to get it. So if I'm throwing it on my spinning rod like this, I like to yo-yo my lipless. So, you reel it in, it comes up, goes back down, so you're yo-yoing it back. And that's what I love spinning rods for throwing lipless. I find I get a better action on my yo-yoing than anything else. Sorry about that sound, that's the furnace because we're downstairs here in the basement. So that's just a couple of the setups that I would do. I know some people like doing things a certain way and all that. A lot of my rods, like I'm now starting to get into the higher end rods, because like I said, for the longest time, you can't really afford, like these Mojo bass rods nowadays, because they're made out of glass and all that kind of stuff. They're going for like $160, $170, and that not a lot of people can afford it. So they're that's why I'm always looking for the deals, and I was lucky to get this. Same thing with this one. I wanted to upgrade into a better bait casting rod and reel, and that's why I went with it. And even then, it was some, I think, 4th of July sale a year or 2 ago or something like that. They had a really good deal on it. I couldn't turn it down. I would have been stupid to have turned it down. So anyways, if you look over here, oh, this one's falling over. Let me just get that into place. Oh. Here's just a bunch of my rods. As you can see, they're pretty much all spinning reels. I've got 3 bait casting, and so I got one here, one's out in my van, and one's in my boat. And so you can see, like here, I'm a big Abu Garcia fan, so like Abu Garcia, Abu Garcia, Abu Garcia, Abu Garcia, Abu Garcia, Fluger. But when it comes to rods, I'm very, not very particular, but I do have quite an interesting collection. So like here, I've got Quantum, I believe it is, and that an Abu Garcia an ugly stick. Now, I've heard a lot of people complain about ugly sticks, and how people complain, oh, they're not great, they're not a St. Croix or anything like that. Well, let me tell you something. I've had more massive hookups on these rods where they should have broke on any other rod, and they haven't. So I'm a huge fan of the ugly sticks. Just don't like the new look of them, but they still work great. Here is one of my Voltaeus rods, Shimano Voltaeus. Awesome rod, love it to death. They are great. And then of course I've got my Rapala walleye tournament because I love walleye. Rapala actually made a really good walleye rod in a very affordable price range, so I picked that up. And then I've got some other ones where I've just like gone to Walmart or something like that, and I needed a rod and reel set up really quick so I could go fishing where I was, and that's how I got some of these. But every year, what I do is, and I recommend this to everyone, you want to upgrade your rod, you want to upgrade a reel, whatever the case is. Every year, I go through my rods and reels, and if I need a new reel or a new rod, I take it into the spring fishing show, spring classic at Bass Pro Shop. You get that little slip saying, you know, depending on what rod you get, you'll get X amount of dollars off and all that. So I do that every year. So like right now, I've got an old Shakespeare Synergy stick. Haven't used this thing in years. To be honest with you, I'll probably never use it again. But they take the rods and they donate them and all that kind of stuff. Or that's another thing I'll do. I'll even donate it to charities around the area. And that, so that's how I've been upgrading. I'll say if I figure I need a new rod or a new reel, and I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't need a new rod, new reel? I just kind of set it aside, go in, and do it that way. And I'm finding that that's what I love to do, because it's going to charities and kids to get kids fishing, and I really, really like that. Now, with that being said, for those of you that are really wanting to upgrade your rods to like St. Croix and stuff like that, what I'm finding St. Croix is doing is they're upgrading their brand. What they're doing is they don't make Triumph anymore, they make a Triumph X. So anyone that's got a Triumph rod are trying to get rid of them at a cheaper price. I picked up a Triumph for $79 at Cabela's about a year ago, and it's probably one of the best little rods I have. I use it for pan fishing with my kids, and that because one, it looks like I'm fighting a monster on it because it's only a little 5.6 ultralight, and that. And now they've upgraded the Mojo Bass to a glass, and I believe it's an S-Class rod, and because they've gone up in price immensely, so gone that route. And also too, look at some of the other companies that are out there right now. I've been looking. Enigma Rods apparently has an amazing rod. I've been talking with Enigma and that because I might be pro staffing for them. It just means that I have to use only their stuff, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm ready for that because I love a lot of my rods. But 13 Fishing has some great stuff. Number 8 Tackle has some great rods. So if you don't know the brand, don't be afraid to look into it, especially if they're charging an insane amount of money. And that make sure that you get some good research on it before you buy. So those are just some tips and tricks kind of on purchasing and stuff like that, because I will admit I do a lot of spending on tackle. I mean, I've got rods down here. This is my ice fishing stuff down here, and that because like I say, I live in Canada. We do go ice fishing. I love ice fishing. It's probably one of my favorite pastimes in the winter. Next to hockey, of course. I am Canadian. Hockey is number one. But, so, what do you say? So, this is kind of like my little man cave area, right next to the furnace and hot water tank. But, yeah, so what I love down here is, I set this up, so, like I said, you'll probably see stuff that I've researched on, not researched, but stuff that I've got from Mystery Tackle Box, Lucky Tackle Box, stuff that I bought on sale. So here's the thing that I'm going to send out to people right now. There are companies out there that are amazing companies, and people don't buy them because they see them on sale and they think, oh, well, if they're trying to clearance them, they must be terrible. Prime example, I was out the other day at a local Canadian Tire. And Canadian Tire down here, you know, is another version of like a Home Depot, a Lowe's, stuff like that, without having the actual lumber and stuff. Canadian Tire has been a place that was started off as a garage and worked up, for those of you that don't know what Canadian Tire is. But I always go to the fishing section. They had a bunch of sable baits. And I wanted to buy a ton of them. Unfortunately, I knew if I came home with a ton, I'd probably get in trouble. So I want to go back before they're sold out. But I was there, and a gentleman was there, and you could tell that he's new to the fishing game, as it is. And he saw them, and he saw that what their original price is and what they're going for now, and that he goes, oh, those must be garbage because look at the price that they're selling them for. The price that they're selling them for is terrible. So he's like, you know, I wouldn't buy one of those. And I happened to be standing there, and I said, you know what, sir, those are probably some of the best lipless crankbaits and crankbaits that you can get. And I said, there must be something going on where they're getting new stock, or they're not going to carry it anymore, and they just want to get rid of them. So he asked me, he goes, do you use them? I said, yeah, I've got a handful at home. I got a couple in my boat that I use. So with that being said, I'll put that there. He grabbed a couple. Now hopefully he will be smart enough and go out and use them. And when he does, he'll find out that they're a great bait. Just like, you know, I talk on my shows and I say, you know, oh, I've never heard of Bywell or whatever the name is of the company. And I might trash them a bit because, I mean, their stuff might look a lot similar to everyone else, but I always give it a try. Like I got the Genius bait here that I've talked about in previous episodes, and I'm going to try that this summer. Like I've been going out and I've been getting a lot of stuff. The only thing I really have to restock on right now is my terminal tackle. On the weekend, my brother-in-law was using one of my rods. He was using my Fenwick, and he caught a snapping turtle, but yay big round. And it's a huge bugger, but he was using one of my last drop shot hook by Trocar. And I love Trocar hooks. I will use Trocar hooks to the end of time. Unfortunately, that was my last Trocar drop shot, and it broke off. So I'm out of drop shot hooks. So I've been getting stuff together to place an order, and either on Amazon or, because Amazon does have some great deals, Cabela's, even Tackle Warehouse. Some of their stuff's great price, so depending on where I can get it at good deals, that's what I do. But anyways, yeah, so here's the man cave. I showed you the rods, showed you what I normally do. Gave you little tips and tricks on why I throw a lipless on a spinning rod, what I've got set up on my bait casting reel, and just, upgrading your gear. Upgrading your gear, I think, is a big thing, especially over the years. It's just something that I would say, if you get the chance to go out and upgrade. I've got, I think, 2, 3, maybe 4 rods I'm going to upgrade in the next little while. And once I've upgraded those, I'll probably be done for a little bit. But, 1, don't be afraid to look at new companies. 2, do your research. And 3, make sure you find it for a great deal. Don't go out and spend, $160 on a rod that you can find for $90, right? I mean, and that's what I did. That's what I do with all my stuff. And another thing is, my camera person's going around like crazy here. Hope you guys aren't getting seasick. One thing I also say to everyone, especially when you're transporting rods, is make sure you've got the covers for them. That's my key thing, because for me, a good rod glove like that and a wrap around the bait like so saves you a lot of hassle when you're getting ready to go fishing and you got 30 different friggin' baits all wrapped up into one. So just something simple as that can really do the job for you. Same thing like with the bait, with the bait casting. So with that being said, I put out on one of my last videos, I was, by the end of the summer, I want to do a giveaway. So what the giveaway is going to be is, I'm going to go out, I'm going to find a box, like a Lucky Tackle Box size box. I'm going to go out and I'm going to fill it with a bunch of baits, whether it be stuff from down here or stuff that I find at Bass Pro, Cabela's, whatever. I'm going to toss them in there, and it's not going to be stuff just for bass. I'm going to have stuff in there for muskie, walleye, pike, bass, panfish. I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to send it out. What I want from you, the viewers, is come the end of July, which is approaching really quick, I need 500 people to comment. So I need 500 to comment, and I need you to tell me what you want to see in my videos. I'll randomly pick a winner, and then I'll send them that box. They'll get that. And then as we go through, we're going to go through and we're going to have, during wintertime, we're going to have ice fishing giveaways. We're going to have other ones. Heck, I might even just send them this rod and reel too, or this rod with it, Either way, we're going to have some fun. But for the contest to go through, I need 500 comments. So make sure you tell your friends, your family, all about the channel. Have them put their comments in, and out of the 500 comments, I'll randomly pick one, and then I'll send out the stuff. And to my family that watches these videos, family is included, but if it randomly picks you and I know your family, you get half the box. So for those of you who are not family, you have a much better chance of getting a heck of a lot more tackle. And I might just even toss it. I might just grab a row of stuff like this, grab it, toss it in. So we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna get crazy with this one. I want to get more viewers. I want you guys to have more fun. Send me your comments. Remember, I'm on Twitter. I'm at I'm at Backer Kirk on there. I'm on Snapchat, and I'm on Instagram also. So look me up on those. My Facebook thing doesn't seem to be working, so don't hit me up on Facebook right yet until I can. But Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, I'm on those. Hit me up on that. I'm going to be Snapchatting stuff out soon, and I'm going to be doing some Instagram stuff shortly. So, once again, thank you for watching Northern Fishing Talk, and remember, take a kid fishing.